I've been moving this around. I don't know where to start. So I'm starting somewhere in the middle. This is one I didn't finish. And I just got these pastel markers that I'm learning how to use, and there's some mistakes on this one from I kept falling asleep because of the medication. So I thought I would try some of the new markers with this one that's already partially done. And I know you're gonna ask, I always have to check the color of the marker because I don't trust the color of the top. I need to know what color it actually makes because often they don't really match. But a lot of people really like my little hash lines. I have whole pages covered in those. Maybe I'll make a whole page, giant page someday just with those. But I have these new pastel color. They're like ink pens or something. So the case doesn't like to stay open. That's one strike against it. But see how this goes. I'm gonna try to add something. It's got some nice green already, like a teal. I really like that, and I really love these emerald colors. That's what I'm really drawn to. And lately I like to put a rainbow in there somewhere if I can. So I think I'm gonna go for a pale sort of a green up here to anchor it with the green down there. Let's see. Or perhaps this is green shadow. Let's see what that gives us. So these markers, as I've discovered, they bleed quite a lot. So I'm learning to put some mark in there, but then just sort of let it, to see how far it bleeds before I really gently go back in. These markers are really nice because unlike a lot of the other markers that I've been using, which to be fair are just like cheap Crayola markers, really. If I make a line over where I've already inked with this, it doesn't leave like a really dark mark. It doesn't make it significantly darker. It just fills it in a bit more. And even right now, I really don't know what I'm doing. I mean, I do with the coloring part, but the recording, even though it's something I used to do for a living, this feels different. And as I said, it's like, where do I start? I don't know. You know, the idea of making promo videos right now is really not appealing. but I do need 50 subscribers before I can live stream. And ultimately, that's really what I wanted to do with this, because this may be the first time I'm saying it, I don't know, but I'm currently in a mental health facility. It's not a hospital. It's a crisis assessment and treatment center, and I've been here for 7 weeks, and I am here for treatment-resistant major depression with suicidality. So it's interesting because when I'm not here, when I draw these mandalas almost exclusively in black and white, either in white on black background or black on white, or when I'm drawing them, it's never black and white actually. It's white on like a dark background, but then I change it to black, and then I invert it so that I can color it. But even if I'm drawing in black, usually the background is like a very light gray. Nevertheless, I draw in black and white because I want every mandala that I make to be this medicine as well. Like, the drawing of it is one piece of the medicine. The coloring it is something quite its own. And interestingly enough, so this is the second time I've found myself in a sort of mental health crisis, or at least somewhere inpatient for a mental health crisis. Both times because my suicidality got a little too scary and a little too imminent risk is what my therapist said. But it's last time it happened, I call it locked up at Unity Hospital here in Portland. It was an awful experience. But I kept myself grounded. I kept myself, because when you're in a place like that, you really start to feel crazy. I mean, the amount of drugs they put me on, and I was there with people who were court mandated to be there, and the environment was punitive. The whole experience was punitive, not therapeutic, and I definitely let the doctors know what I felt about it, but I colored. I sweet-talked one of the nurses into letting me see my iPad for a moment because they wouldn't let me have it. It was very restrictive. And I airdropped her some of the mandalas that I had been drawing for the purpose of creating coloring books. And I ended up just sitting in the same spot for hours and hours and hours every day, just coloring. That's just what I did, and it's how I kept myself sane, for lack of a better term. It's how I grounded myself. And it was the most incredible opportunity for I call it like very intimate R&D, the research and development for my idea, this sense that I had that these mandalas that I draw because I need to, because it soothes some part of my being. It's like my past self creates the medicine that my future self needs, or that, as the case may be, as my present self needs. I really like that. It faded really nicely, or dried really nicely. So now I'm looking at these little things again. And I want to bring in more purple here, so let's see what this is going to look like. I'm going to have to be very delicate here because these are very fine lines. And even though the tip of this is so fine, I've learned the hard way already with this that sometimes if I just barely, see, it did it again. If I just barely touch it, it leaves like a circular like bleed. Like if I'm touching it too directionally, like from above. It's hard to tell how that's gonna look, but I'm just gonna go with it. And I realize this part might be a little bit hard to see, so before I post this, I'll try and go through and like magnify parts. I'm not sure how it's all gonna work, but the other day while I was coloring, because here I am again, and just as last time, the way that I've spent my time here has been mostly coloring, and often coloring with, they don't call us patients here, they call us clients, but other clients, sometimes sitting with me coloring. That's how it was at Unity too. By the end of the week, I had all these other patients just sitting quietly with me, coloring my mandalas, and so it was like the universe saying, yeah, do this thing. But I started organizing everything into, I designed the initial coloring book, and I had a lot more coming down the pike, or I guess I should say I still do have a lot more. I posted or published the first volume. Wow, that was very sloppy. I published the first volume of 7. I call my coloring book Mandala Medicine because that's what it is. And the idea is that my medicine can become your medicine, right? But I'm really shit at promotion and marketing, so I don't even think I've ever sold one. It's on Amazon. Ow. My legs definitely hurt. Anyway, as I was sitting and coloring the other day, since I've been here tomorrow is 7 weeks, I have colored 14. I've finished 14 of them, and I have 3 more, or I guess this is one of them, and then 3 more beyond this one that are partially done. Something interrupted me and I didn't return to it, but I was working on one the other day. No, I don't want that color. I was working on one the other day, and it just hit me. This is what I need to do. I just need to live stream this. I need to share exactly what I'm doing. Just like when I was going through chemo. Whoa, that really bleeds. When I was going through chemo, I live streamed and I shared what I was going through. It didn't just help me. That was so messy. Oh my goodness. Oh. It didn't just help me. According to my followers and messages I got and thank yous, etc., it helped a lot of people. So, you know, this really isn't very different. In fact, I would argue that what I'm going through right now is actually well, it is for sure a lot scarier than cancer in terms of, whoa, wobbly. The reason why I did that, for those who might ask, is I'm just drawing the pen right down the center, because this particular structure, somehow when I drew it, there is no middle segment. And so like doing alternating kind of segments, which I do like to do or want to do right now, is difficult. But if I sort of, split the difference and I give like a line down the middle of whatever the next color over would be, then I can just have these two sort of thin surrounding this one very thin. And then it works visually, at least to my eye. See? This, it would be its own middle color if I had drawn that differently. Now that was much better applied. My touch with these pens has to be really, really delicate. It's funny, I've been wearing noise-canceling headphones and I just realized that they just turn themselves off. And then I realized that my voice is only being captured with the native microphone on the phone, which is definitely not ideal. But I'm doing the best I can here with what they have allowed me to have brought in by my one local relative. There's a lot that's not ideal about this setup, but you know what? That's okay. So even if this random video, so I feel like I'm just babbling, but that's nothing new. If this ends up being, it's the first video and who knows who'll see it. We'll just scroll past the algorithm. Maybe even if nobody sees it. I think the important thing, at least for me, is just to begin. And I have no choice but to begin in the middle. Just trust anyone who wants to can catch up. Whoop. We'll see. Maybe I'll finish this little structure that I'm working on right here. Going all the way around, repeating. That's why it's medicine. It's just, it's a meditation. I tried to come up with some witty combination word for meditation and medicine, but it didn't work very well. I think that alternating with that purple, what would be really nice would be like a let's see. Purple always loves pink, right? Yeah. Let's see, I think it's actually called a light prawn. This is exactly the one I was weird names, but that's what I'm gonna go with. So I did that middle line, so now here we're just gonna add a little bit. Well, it looks so vibrant, it's gonna fade, and I think it's gonna look really nice, but we shall see. As I like to say with these sorts of things, there are no mistakes, only changes in direction. See. And I'm laughing, imagining myself posting this as the first, but I think I'm gonna do it. What can it hurt? Absolutely nothing. Some pretense of pride. I don't have much pride. Sitting here in mental health facility from which I can't leave without a day pass and somebody to accompany me. Of course, it's going to be a little messy. Maybe that's okay. No, for sure that's okay. In fact, maybe the messiness is part of its charm. Almost done with this part. And then I might just say, look at that. First one. Or maybe it'll be the second. Or maybe it'll just languish in my filmed things that no one ever sees. But it would be a lot better if I followed through. So again, I highly doubt anybody is still watching, even if you started. But if you're there, oh trusty viewer, the idea is to get to 50 subscribers so that I can live stream. And once that happens, then I'll be uploading free downloads, uploading mandalas for free download so that you can color with me, and live streaming so that you can ask me questions in real time. If you want to know why I'm choosing which colors I'm choosing, if you want to ask me any questions about drawing the mandalas and choices that I make and how that works. And also for anyone who just needs a little company and wants to chat about depression, etc. Until next time, take care of yourselves and each other. Bye-bye.